The following question, so this question came from so many people. I think mentioning to you earlier on, we need a leader, I feel personally, and I don't think we've ever had one since Mandela, that could actually stand up, have the courage to stand up and say, the fighting with regards to race has to come to an end from both sides. Many people have posed the same question. They're saying these are people who have joined our page from Action SA. Okay, so these are people who are in support of you and your party. And through that, when we were running the advertisement about this interview, they then joined our page. So one of the people asked, and this probably came from more than 10 people, and I've just kind of worded it down to the same thing because it's basically the same question that they were all asking. So basically they're saying they're seeing, and I saw it as well, and this is obviously got nothing to do with you. This is just the kind of people that you're attracting, because I think, as I said earlier on, no political party has had such a wide support base, where we're having very conservative Afrikaans white people, okay, and this is, I gather from reading the comments and that. So is that we have I like to break it down into three groups. We have, and this is not, when I say left and right, I'm not saying their ideology, okay, I'm just trying to paint a picture here. So on the right, we have very conservative Afrikaans people. We have some liberal Afrikaans people, all on the right, and this group, and we have a left group that are, and some of these people have actually admitted that they're EFF supporters, but they are voting for Action SA because although they believe in some of the core values of the EFF, whatever that may be, they do recognize that Julius is too radical. So they don't see the EFF ever becoming the leading political party. So therefore, they are in your court, basically. So we've got this left group and this right group who are completely racial towards each other, at each other's throats. Yes. And then we have black and white people in the middle saying, guys, this is enough. This is not what this group is about. How do you plan on dealing with that kind of divisiveness within your party moving forward?
I think I want to make it really abundantly clear and unapologetic. Anyone who's looking for a racial party, please go somewhere else. I can tell you, I don't really need your vote.
Yes.
Because we're not a black party,
yes.
We're not a white party, we're a party to serve
the South
African people. And the South African people are the South African people.
Yes.
So, honestly, I would really want those that believe they are looking for racial parties.
Yes.
Honestly, let them go somewhere else.
Of course.
They not please come and really disturb our peace.
Yes.
Because we are not going to be sympathetic to them. And fortunate enough, I'm one person, my grandfather taught me not to stand on the fence. I deal with subject, but honestly, my grandfather gave me the wisdom to be tough in life.
Yes.
I've got the capacity and the propensity to take tough decisions.
Yes.
Whether people like me or not.
Yes.
But one thing for sure is that I'll never mislead the person.
Yes.
So I don't stand on the fence.
Yes.
So we are committed to building an unracial society. Is it going to be an easy exercise? You know what? I grew up, I never believed, honestly, truly believed during apartheid days, the way the National Party had divided us along racial lines. I never thought there would be any human being who would really be able to bring us together.
Yes.
But one thing for sure, Nelson Mandela and FW de Klerk, these two great leaders,
yes.
did a magic. And it's magical what they achieved, because everyone in the world, not just me, even the world never thought South Africa will be able to pull something like this together.
Absolutely.
But these two great leaders actually decided, you know what? This is about our country, the future of our country. It's not about politics. And that's how the Rainbow Nation was born, and we had Archbishop Desmond Tutu, this great South African, also giving the endorsement.
Yes.
But 27 years, 26, 27 years into our democracy, it saddens me when I see the very same party of Nelson Mandela being the one responsible for advocating racial policies. It hurts me. It actually angers me. That's the reason why I get so determined, I get so resolute on a daily basis to say we've got to remove this ANC as a matter of urgency, because we've got a huge task ahead of us. There's a mistrust between black and white, even sometimes between whites, sometimes between blacks. So we need someone who can really be a unifier. And the project of unifying South Africans is not an event. It's a process that's going to take, might even take a generation. You will need 15, 20 years down the line.
Of course.
And the only way we can achieve that, you know what will make it easy, is to make sure that we spend money in the right type of education. We make sure that our economy grows, because when people are employed, they've got the dignity, they wake up, support their families. We have to ensure that we build strong family structures. That's the only way we can really win this. It's not something that you can win by having one church service or one public meeting. No, it's a process that is going to take a long time. But it'll need the government to encourage South Africans, black and white. Let's talk about the issues that are worrying us. And then once we talk about it, then we'll find the solution. And that is why it's important to find ethical leadership, people we can trust, so that when they promise us something, they must deliver on it. When they must not really promise us because obviously they want our votes, and afterwards they forget about us and come out with another lie come the next election. South Africans are yearning, are hungry for ethical leadership that they can trust.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. It brings to mind when Nelson Mandela, I said this once before to a colleague of mine, and he got very, very angry with me. And when I said, I think Mandela's turning in his grave, and he got very upset with me, and he said, "Who are you to say that?" And I said, because everything he stood against is now happening. In the Rivonia trial, his words were, I have stood against white dominance and black dominance. And I think, unfortunately, when to me, from an outsider, looking in at how the ANC changed over the years, it was almost like they were waiting for him to pass on, because the minute he was no longer around, it was a ruckus.
It was a free-for-all.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, some people don't understand how big the ANC is in terms of numbers.
But one thing the South Africans must be aware. Let me give you a little bit of facts, not theory. ANC is a dying organization. It's a rural party. 2009, ANC got 69% of the votes, national votes. 2014, dropped to 62%. Last year, with the Ramaphoria, with all the resources, ANC got 57%.
Absolutely.
Now, if you take those three scenarios, including looking at all the metros, they lost all the metros except eThekwini. Even eThekwini, coming from the 70s, they are now sitting at 55%. Come the next local government elections, I can already predict to you and confirm to you that ANC, even in eThekwini, the last metro that they're hanging on, they're going to be under 50%. So basically, ANC is a rural party, and it's dying a natural death. The numbers are there. I'm sure you can go and check on that. So people are under impression ANC is a huge organization. No, it's a dying organization. Soon after, I can tell you, before you die, ANC, there's not going to be a political party in your ballot box. Because everyone is going to run away from ANC, because the glue that's putting the ANC together are state resources. And once, obviously, you take away the state resources from them, they're going to split all over. They're going to run away. No one would want to be associated with ANC. So I think the reason why ANC is in power today is because more and more South Africans are staying away from voting. People underestimate their individual contribution to saving this country. And our key target market for us as Action SA is not the ANC voters. We are targeting the non-voters,
Yes.
those who are have given up on voting. We are saying to them, please assist us. You are the vaccine that can help us destroy this virus. And I'm sure you can do your own research in terms of our engagement. You'll see majority of the people who are engaging us are those who had given up on voting.
Absolutely.
And they are already preparing themselves. You know what? The person who says, I'm 29, I've never voted before, I've never even worried to register. But I can tell you, I'm going to register and I'm going to vote for Action SA. Look at the thousands on a daily basis that are coming forward. Those are the people we're talking to.
Yes, one thing I did do some research about a few months ago was when I decided to start this platform, which basically happened of me viewing so many different people from walks of life on Facebook who had so much to say. But they're basically venting to their own people. They're not venting to the public. They're not being heard by people who are influential positions, etc. And that's when I decided that I'm going to do some homework and I'm going to start this platform. One thing that struck me, and I get very upset about this moving forward, because South Africa is by far, we're definitely not in a position where we can sit back and say, we'll be okay. I believe every person should definitely exercise their vote, and they're not. I had a look at some figures online, and double-checked these, and they turned out to be pretty accurate. So to water down, there are so many people who feel that the ANC have too much of a majority. But when I look at the numbers, I see that just over 17 million people turned out for the general elections last year.
17.5.
Yes, correct. There were 9.8 million eligible voters who didn't vote. And if you look, and some people don't understand how the parliament works, but when I had a look, I had so many friends, and this is just me personally. So I believe, I'm not unique in this, I believe each one of us would probably know if we asked around at least 30 people who do not exercise their vote. The ANC got 57.5% of the vote.
From 62.
So everyone that says to me, what does my one vote count? I tell them 7%.
Sure.
Because if you force them below the 50% mark, they have to go into a coalition. So I think we're closer than ever before in unseating the ANC.
We've reached the stage. The next election, ANC is going to be under 50%. Something that came because
to mind.
There's no way that a miracle is going to happen, because look at the issues that are destroying ANC is corruption. And what has ANC done with corruption? They're taking it to another level.
Of course.
In fact, they are brazenly now looting. It's no longer corruption, it's brazen looting, where they go to a extent of actually looting food parcels. So our poor communities are really very angry with the ANC.
Of course.
There's nothing that can get the ANC to increase. No, the ANC can only go down. Now, if any analyst, you call yourself a political analyst, you tell me ANC has got a chance of ever reviving itself. I don't know, the university where you were taught, I don't know where.
No, I agree with you.
Because sometimes you don't even need the education, you just need to use common sense.
Of course. I think someone, I've had to obviously, and it's one thing I make clear in my to all the outspoken SA followers, as I'm not an academic. I am a normal citizen who has always taken a large interest in the political ongoings in our country, because I believe that there are many other dictatorships around the world where the people do not have the freedom that we are allowed to vote, for example. Some countries, when it comes voting time, they suppress. The army is out in full force. It's intimidation. So I've aligned myself with a lot of people and to rely on information, and obviously, we're not allowed to say where some of this information comes from, but there are actually, this is actually very interesting. I don't think we need to discuss it, because I don't think you'll have much information on it, if any at all. But something that was said to me just 3 days ago by someone who's actually within the security cluster. There are actually rumors going around, and I do not confirm this, and it's just something that struck a nerve on me. Someone said that there are rumors that from people within the ANC that the recent trip to Zimbabwe has actually very little to do with what they say it's got to do with, and they actually, whether this is true or not, this is what was, and this is coming from within an organization that has information. They were saying that they're actually seeking advice on how to rig the following elections. Do you think, realistically speaking, that the ANC would have the power to do such a thing?
Well, first of all, let me address the question of the recent visit, recent visits to Zimbabwe. And I tweeted about it because you remember when on the 29th of August, when I was launching Action SA,
yes,
I spoke about hard diplomacy, and I gave an example of Zimbabwe and the ZANU PF in particular.
Yes.
That South Africans give us an opportunity to be the government of this country. Our diplomacy is going to be a hard one. There's just no way that we can allow people of Zimbabwe being exploited,
yes,
the rights are being violated like this, and we cooperate with the government like that.
Yes.
I said, and I mean it, that when we take over, ZANU PF officials will not set foot in this country, and we'll look for their assets and freeze them.
Yes.
And we will mobilize the international community to have free and fair elections in Zimbabwe, so that the people of Zimbabwe can really see peace again.
Of course.
They've suffered more than enough. And South Africa has been responsible for the creation of that mess that
Absolutely.
happened. But we'll allow Zimbabweans to come here,
yes,
as long as they come into our country legally. And what I tweeted about these two visits, I said, my suspicion is that the president has never given us a report on the feedback of these two meetings. I said, my suspicion is that they must have gone to Zimbabwe after my speech to say, hey, there's a new party called Action SA in South Africa coming. How can you assist us to ensure that we prevent that from happening?
That's exactly what a lot of people are saying.
But obviously, it's my own personal,
yes,
and I tweeted, it's in a public, because how can the government send a delegation on two occasions when we're seeing massive human rights abuses happening? ANC go to an extent of abusing state resources to go to Zimbabwe. What for? My own personal suspicion is that they must have gone to plan that there's a new party in South Africa that's developing. How do we stop them from taking over?
Absolutely. I think that answers that question 100%.